Hey everyone, LogicPQ here. This is the first installment of the I Wanna Be the Guy Remastered Speedrunning Guide. This installment will show you where to download the most current version of the game, as well as the strategies for the first split of the game. We will be using the optimal speedrun route for the guide, but there are other routes that you can use that won't be discussed in too much detail. Anyways, let's get right into it. In order to download the game, you need to go to https://cherrytreehouse.itch.io/iwannabetheguyr. The link is in the description below. Here you can join the Cherry Treehouse Discord where all runners show off their newest PBs, as well as discuss various parts of the run and game itself. You can also find the download button for Windows right below the Discord link. Once you have downloaded the game and extracted it to its own folder, you are ready to begin playing the game. You can have 3 save files in Remastered. This is especially useful for speedrunning because it makes practice a little bit easier. If you go to speedrun.com and search I Wanna Be the Guy Remastered, then go to Resources, you will find a downloadable folder full of save files that you can use. Place these saves in your Remaster 1.5 folder and use them as needed. Here is an example of how to utilize these saves. Let's say you want to practice Castle, so we grab that save by copying it. Then we go back to the save folder where saves 1 through 3 are. Paste the save you want here, the Castle one in this case, and then delete the save you no longer want, in this case, Game 3. Rename the file to either Game 1, 2, or 3, depending on what save is open for use. Now you can go into Remaster and load up the save file, and you're in the castle. It's just that easy. One last thing, the speedrun is done on medium difficulty because it has the most saves for skipping sections. Now that you know how to practice and play the game, let's jump into the strategies for split number 1, Mike Tyson. If you are a beginner, there is really no rush in the Cherry Room. You have no need to optimize this section yet, as you have just started, and that would only lead to frustration. Take it easy, activate each set of apples, and run back to avoid them. Simple as that. Now if you are a more intermediate player, I recommend activating the first cherry the same way as beginners, but then jumping over the second set of cherries, and then jumping up through the gap of the third set of cherries. Each of these movements only saves a total of about 1 to 2 seconds over the beginner strategies, but that can matter at the intermediate level. Next, activate the last apple on the right by jumping, then hugging the wall as you move up to activate the final cherry there. That way, you can utilize your second jump to get up right away rather than jumping up again. Be careful here, and take your time, otherwise this cherry can be a huge pain. The last notable cherry is the first one that shoots upward. I recommend triggering it, then going back right for a split second, and finally jumping back into the cherry. If done right, you easily go under the upward moving cherry while only losing a fraction of a second. The only real differences between the intermediate route and the advanced route are 2 things. First, you begin your speedrun by nailing a seemingly 1-frame jump into the Cherry Room, then immediately jumping while holding right to jump over the first cherry rather than activating it from under. Then you proceed as before until you reach the first upward moving cherry. There is a 2-frame window to double jump over this cherry without retreating back to the right. This is overall the fastest route for the first room, but only saves about a half second over the intermediate route. I really don't recommend learning these 2 strategies until you have at least a sub 23 any% time. Believe me, they are extremely frustrating and cause a massive amount of resetting. For the next screen, players of all skill levels will be using the same strategy. Just jump onto each cloud as seen, then try to walk as quickly as possible off the right side of the 3rd cloud and jump to the 4th cloud. Then just jump up and clip the left edge of this terrain to activate the Spike Crusher from above. Easy enough, but there is one more strategy you could attempt to implement as an advanced runner. Warning, I have never implemented this myself, so it is pretty hard and only saves about a third of a second. You can skip the 3rd cloud altogether by jumping from the edge of the 2nd cloud to the 4th cloud. You won't make the jump naturally though, and you will have to spam jump when you are inside of the cloud. When you are inside of a semi-solid platform in this game, you can always jump as if you are standing on the ground, even if you have no jumps left. That is how the cloud jump works. Then proceed as before and activate the Spike Crusher. Anyways, the next section involves riding the Spike Crusher upward into the next screen. No strategies here, just be careful, jump as early as you feel comfortable with to shoot the save. Once you hit the save, you can reset and hold right out of the reset to easily make the platform cycle. All level of player can perform this room the same way. The goal is to activate the falling star at the end of the room without dying, so be careful as a beginner if you try to go too fast. The next room has two main strategies. As a beginner, I recommend jumping and shooting the save as soon as possible, reset, and then use the easy platform cycles you get from the reset to quickly get through the room. All players of a higher skill level should try and learn the fast strat in this room. It involves getting through the previous room as fast as possible by activating the falling star early without letting go of right movement. Then you enter the room and jump across to the moving platform. If you did it fast enough, you can immediately jump off of this platform to the next moving platform with barely enough time to avoid getting crushed against the top spike. Then jump over onto the platform above the spike to regain your double jump, walk off, and double jump to finish the room. This strategy saves about 1 to 1.5 seconds over the beginner one and isn't too difficult to pull off. Lastly, the Mike Tyson boss fight. All player skill levels will perform this the same. I'll show you my movement strats that I do for this fight, but know that you can perform any type of movement strats so long as you get damage on Tyson as early as possible in each phase. The way you damage him is when he opens up his mouth, you're able to damage Tyson. That is the only time. So pay attention to when I start shooting because that is pretty much the earliest you can damage Tyson in each phase. For the last phase, however, there is a strategy you will need to know. Speedrunners align their character against the right wall, causing Tyson to not fidget randomly. Then jump to avoid his 2 punches and wait for him to punch down twice. Then move to the right at this point in phase 3. It will cause Tyson to move to the left every time. Don't move left or right before this because it will cause Tyson to move early, so stay still and only jump. But if you do everything right, boom, you just learn the entirety of Split 1 in the remastered speedrun. But alright, hold your horses right there. We got a comparison video of all the strategies coming up right now. For those who don't know who I am I have been speedrunning this game for 1.5 years at this point. I currently hold the world record in the any percent category of this game, and I enjoy streaming live at twitch.tv/LogicPQ. I hope this guide helps ease new wannabe speedrunners into trying out this game. It's a very difficult but very rewarding speed game that has changed my life. As of right now, we have a wonderful small community that is very helpful, and I want newer runners to have the resources necessary for success. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for part 2, Remastered Any% Speedrun Guide Split 2, Graveyard/Mechaberto.